I'm here with James Tanner Bryston. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
Bryston is one of the hallmarks of the high end. How long has it been in business?
We started in the mid-'70s, and Bryston originally was a medical electronics company. And we produced very high-end blood analyzers where they would analyze blood sold to hospitals and such. And my buddy and I, Chris Russell, were into audio in a big way, and we decided we'd use all these very high-quality, high-tolerance parts that we'd use in the blood analyzers and build an amplifier.
Oh, that's cool.
We built the amp, we called it a Pro 3. It was a 100 watt per channel stereo amp. And as luck would have it, there was a recording studio in Toronto called Eastern Sound that was doing a shootout with the then well-known products, Dyna 400s, Marantz 500, Dunlop Clarks. And we took the amp down, they loved it, and they bought 10, and that was the start of Bryston.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Medical instruments to electronics.
And then within about 3 years, we had shifted totally to amplification technology. Right.
Holy smokes. How many products do you have in the lineup today?
Oh boy, good question. I've got a lot of new digital products, so we've probably got 4 or 5 there. Amplifiers, 6 or 7 different power ranges. One of the things we do as well, though, is there's no better best. Whether we're building the lowest cost, preamp at let's say, 2 channels times 60 watts, or this really big one here, which is 1,000 watts. It's the same quality. Just think of it like a 4-engine, like an engine in a car. It's a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder. The quality of those engines are the same. Just depends on how much horsepower you need.
It's kind of like the Mercedes-Benz approach. Very good small cars, and the big cars are just bigger. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
You need more power. You need more features.
That's right.
That's the reason for purchasing forward, as opposed to just simply saying, I want a very basic system, but I want high quality.
Well, you have your hand on the flagship here. Tell us about it. Yeah.
This is the biggest amp we make, which is called the 28B. It's a mono block. It'll deliver over 1,000 watts into 8 ohms and about 2,000 into 4 ohms. It's a totally different technology that we started with, and it was the beginning of what we call the SST2 line. And we got such success with it that we decided we would move that down into the rest of the line. So what used to be called the SST series became the SST2 series based on the technology. And the main difference is this, that most power amplifiers have a power curve. Think about like the torque in your car. When there's that sort of point at which everything's working right. You get maximum pull, maximum efficiency. With a power amp, it's typically about 1/3 power. So at 1/3 power, it's really liking what it's doing. The whole idea with this is what I call first and last watt. So whether you're using 1 watt or whether you're using 1,000 watts, that torque curve is equal. And so you're listening at very low levels, you get that same sense of dynamics and clarity as when you're listening at the higher level. That was the main technological change.
Now I see you're using, for your filter caps, you're using banks instead of having big guys, and sometimes that increases the speed and the quickness and the transient response.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we found that over the years that a multiple of small ones is better than a large big one kind of thing. And then the power supply in terms of the size of the transformer is huge.
Gosh, look how big that is.
Yeah, a lot of wire on that one.
Yeah.
And we also reduce as much as we can any wiring. If you can see, everything basically plugs into everything else.
Yeah, viewers, can you see that?
Even moving a wire in a circuit of this quality can change the distortion specifications of that product. So this just eliminates that problem.
And it's in a fairly compact design, too, for such a high-powered amplifier.
Yeah, and that's a good point, actually, because normally when you get into this type of power range, you need fans.
Yeah.
We've always been a company to eliminate the fans because there's a lot of noise, obviously, but they also suck air through the system and everything gunks up over time. So even the heat sinks are computer modeled, so that if you look at the distance between the heat sink and the length of it, the chimney effect is affected by that distance, actually. So you can actually design a heat sink to have, we found about 15% more efficiency by making sure that the height and the widths are proportional.
Viewers, you can see that a little bit here in the shot. Well, the amplifier has a fantastic reputation. It has exceeded or equaled the most expensive amplifiers in the world.
Yeah.
And what's the current retail price on it?
$9,500 retail. And it's a very good point, because I think the philosophy of Bryston is if we could build a better amp, we would. But we really feel that you're 99.9% of the way there, and the rest of it's going to be cosmetic. And my famous phrase is, you can spend more money, but you're not going to get better performance if linearity is what you're after. If you want a specific sound, we're probably the wrong choice. But if you want something that's input versus output with as low a distortion as possible, this will do the job for you.
Well, thank you very much, James. I hear the music coming up in the background. It must be Bryston equipment driving that music.
Yes, it is.
It's fantastic sound that you guys have done. Over the years, you've been a pillar of the high end, and it's great to meet you today, and I wish you all the success at SSI 2012.
Well, thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.